Hey gang, as true crime fans, we know there's always more to the story. And the start of a new year is a perfect time to start digging deeper into the mysteries that fascinate you with newspapers.com, the largest online newspaper archive.
Imagine uncovering the original articles that reported on infamous crimes or tracking down small town stories that haven't been told in decades. A subscription to newspapers.com unlocks over 1 billion, with a B, newspaper pages from across the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and beyond, dating all the way back to 1690 or as recent as a month ago.
You'll have access to stories that you will not find anywhere else. From front page headlines to forgotten cases that could inspire your next deep dive. Go down a rabbit hole of first-hand accounts, breaking news, and shocking details that didn't make the history books, all on newspapers.com.
For listeners of this podcast, newspapers.com is offering a special discount of 20%. Just use the code TrueCrimecast at checkout. The clues to history's mysteries are waiting for you on newspapers.com using code TrueCrimecast.
Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.
Welcome to True Crime to Go. What can I get for you?
I've got some ingredients and I need you to help me make something of it. I've got onions, tangerines, whiskey, and holy water. Can we make it happen?
Pull up to the second window and we'll see you next crime.
Welcome to True Crime to Go. I am John here with Jamie. What a list of ingredients, sir.
It is. Last week we did 2 episodes of potential miracles happening at churches, and today's the opposite. It happened at a church on Christmas Eve, but anything but miraculous.
I mean, in all seriousness, you do know how priests make holy water, though, right?
They boil the hell out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Dad joke.
But
let's let 25 be the year of the dad joke.
I'm all in. Ryan Bethea over the Exorcist Files has set a high bar for those, so I'll do my best to try to keep up.
We have a true crime story for you in 10 minutes or less. With that being said, why don't you get the ball rolling, because I am more than intrigued.
Yeah, so this takes place at St. Mary's County, Maryland, where the Christmas Eve service was anything but silent. They started out at the Holy Angels Catholic Church in Avenue, Maryland. Parishioners had gathered for a peaceful Christmas Eve service. Everything was calm until a 56-year-old man decided to make an entrance that nobody would forget.
The man, whose name has not been released, approached the altar and dropped an onion in the aisle. As if that wasn't strange enough, he was escorted outside, where he began pelting the usher with tangerines. I couldn't even make it through that sentence without laughing.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine? We go to church. Could you imagine a disorderly patron going and getting escorted out and then throwing like, why does this guy come armed with fruits and vegetables?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he dropped the onion, and I don't think they threw him out for dropping the onion. I don't think that was the issue. I think that was an indication that he was very inebriated and was going to be causing trouble in the service, but I don't know where he was storing these tangerines. That's part of the mystery.
That later that evening, the very same man, but at a different church, St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church in Leonardtown, the same guy interrupted a midnight mass, but this time his antics escalated. What happened there?
I guess he was out of fruits and vegetables because he took some whiskey and he put it into the church's holy water, desecrating one of the most sacred elements of this service. It's called holy water. Holy is supposed to be special, separate, unique, and he put whiskey in it. When parishioners tried to stop him, he threatened them and attempted to hit attendees with the whiskey bottle.
So he was removed from that church and he was taken to a hospital for evaluation. Authorities later arrested and transported him to St. Mary's County Detention and Rehabilitation Center. I love it almost started out to sound like a church, but it is a detention center.
It's a Catholic detention center. Maybe that's where he needs to be. He's facing several different charges, including second-degree assault. I don't know if that one was with the bottle or the tangerines. Disorderly conduct at both places, defacing religious property.
I didn't know that was a charge.
I didn't either. Obstructing a religious service and threatening mass violence.
Like
I know that our
during
religious...
a mass, or because there was a lot of people?
I think it's mass and a massive amount of people. I know that our religious practices are protected. I guess this doesn't come up enough for us to worry about the laws that are built in for that.
So he's going to be facing some charges for that. Jamie, just speaking about like what steps churches take. I mean, I don't know what these churches did here, but we have a security team every single service. And I like that they are keeping an eye on this kind of stuff, because he's not the Lone Ranger. Stuff happens, and we live in a world where you have to be vigilant.
And obviously this man's having a hard time. He seems to be very drunk in both of these situations. But what's bringing him, what makes him get drunk and go to church? I think there's something more in depth there that somebody needs to follow up and try to help this guy out. Maybe he is going to church to seek support and getting rid of this addiction, and just when he gets there, falling apart. I don't know, but he keeps finding himself in places of worship when he's drunk.
I mean, personally, that's the best place to go if you're feeling down and out and you're drunk. Go to church. Maybe not throw fruit and vegetable at people, but I mean, this might be considered blasphemous. I'm watching The Chosen right now. Have you ever watched that?
I really want to, but I haven't.
It's so good, and I almost dare say that had Jesus been at this church service, he may have picked it up and like engaged in a friendly game of dodgeball, but with tangerines.
Okay, I was like, why are we playing with the whiskey? Are we playing with the onions? What are we doing?
Like Jesus would have just, Hail Mary'd a onion at the guy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like it's a place you should be welcome to try to fix your problems. And maybe that's what this guy's looking for. And if it is, I hope that he finds whatever he's looking for. But for now, all he's going to find is a jail cell. So we'll see if he can get back on board. His name has not been released. So if we see updates and a miracle comes around like it did in our cases last week, we'll let you know. Otherwise, hopefully we'll have some results of his sentence coming.
Don't forget, you can use code 2025 to get a 10% monthly or annual membership only on your first month, and your first annual membership on patreon.com.
That sounded like a lot of fine print at the end of a medicine commercial. Do
you remember the speed talker guy that would
the micro machine guy?
I just wanted to make sure I said it correctly. So 10% off your first month or annual membership.
Yep. We appreciate you guys. This has been a crime story in 10 minutes or less.
Would you like crime with that?
You've listened to True Crimecast, distributed by Stoveleg Media. Check out stoveleg.com to find out more about your hosts and to find other podcasts to listen to. Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.
Hey, gang. As true crime fans, we know there's always more to the story. And the start of a new year is a perfect time to start digging deeper into the mysteries that fascinate you with newspapers.com. The largest online newspaper archive.
Imagine uncovering the original articles that reported on infamous crimes or tracking down small town stories that haven't been told in decades. A subscription to newspapers.com unlocks over 1 billion, with a B, newspaper pages from across the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and beyond, dating all the way back to 1690 or as recent as a month ago.
You'll have access to stories that you will not find anywhere else. From front page headlines to forgotten cases that could inspire your next deep dive. Go down a rabbit hole of first-hand accounts, breaking news, and shocking details that didn't make the history books, all on newspapers.com.
For listeners of this podcast, newspapers.com is offering a special discount of 20%. Just use the code TRUECRIMECAST at checkout. The clues to history's mysteries are waiting for you on newspapers.com using code TRUECRIMECAST.